It was good, y'all. So I gotta go and work on my boy's car, or his daughter's car. It's a 2015 Chevy Cruze. I went to go and change the oil yesterday, but I didn't know that there's under trays and stuff. So what I need to do, I told him I would come back today and bring my jack. So let's go ahead, let's get to it. I know what you're thinking. Oh, damn, you got your jack in your house? You goddamn right. So gotta hit this motherfucker right here on the side so I could pull the handle out. Let's go. Damn, elevated, your car is dirty. See that? That's all tools right there. So be it. Some water, some AC, Freon. So what? I don't care. Alright, there she goes. That thing is heavy. So that's why I didn't record, because I couldn't. That motherfucker needed two hands. Wheel chocks, and then my other jack stand. Let's get to work. Yeah, it's good. As y'all can see, I had to stop at Best Buy right quick, you know. Of course, they covered up the sticker, but it's all good. Got me some Rode wireless microphones. So, back to our adventure. Alright, so again, we got overheating car. So this is the radiator reservoir. As you can see in there, it's bone dry. So what I was thinking, I had ran the car yesterday to get it up to temperature because I was about to change the oil, like I had explained. But when I looked in the back seat, there was a jug of antifreeze or coolant, whatever you want to call it. Now, I had poured what was left of it into the reservoir, and it wasn't even enough to have excess in the reservoir. So once the car was up to temperature, what I did, I touched both of the radiator hoses, which is this one coming off of the thermostat. So that's going to be the upper hose. And then the lower hose is going to be this one. So the hose was hot. This one, the one coming off the motor, this one down here that's coming from the radiator was cold. And this is at operating temperature. And then, so then what I thought was, okay, I remember the coolant was green, but this is a Chevy, a GM car. It's supposed to take Dex Cool, which is orange. And by me reading and doing a little bit more research, it'll cause gelling, if you mix the coolants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a radiator flush because I feel like something is blocked somewhere in the cooling system, and more than likely it's going to be the radiator. It might be gelled up. So I'll show you how the process on how to do a coolant flush. Let's get it. All right. So first things first, engine is cool. So you know what I'm saying? Everything is cool. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go underneath and we're gonna drain whatever's in the radiator out. Of course, there's more heat shields. So we're down underneath the front bumper. You see that white piece right there? That's called the petcock. So once I loosen that, that's going to drain all of the coolant out of the radiator, which is the first step in doing a radiator flush. So let's get it. Things on there tight. Hold on. Alright, my bad, y'all. Make sure y'all can see it. So this open here, then that started leaking, then there's another leak back there. So this cooling system is clogged up. Luckily it all looked like water, so this is so weird. So what I'll do once I'm done, I got some purple power in my car. So I'll spray the driveway down and then use the water hose. This is so weird. Alright, so it's been about so it's been about 5 minutes now. So now the fluid coming out of the radiator is down to a drip. I don't want to call it coolant or whatever because it looks like water. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna tighten that petcock back, that white piece up there. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna add a gallon of water, distilled water. It has to be distilled, otherwise you'll cause corrosion in your cooling system. We'll add a bottle of distilled water after we close everything back up, and then we have to run the car for 10 minutes according to the bottle of radiator flush. So let's do that now. Hand tight is good. And this is the remnants of what came out of the radiator. I know it's brown and stuff because this is my oil drain pan. You know, you can use the oil pan for cooling also, but that's not a whole lot, especially when your cooling capacity is 1.4 liters, not 1.4 gallons, excuse me, which is about 7 quarts, which is what the drain pan holds. All right, y'all, so we back up top. This our radiator reservoir. The cap, I had it loose already, but you'll take the cap off. Distilled water has to be distilled, like I said. We're just gonna pour that inside the reservoir. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but letting all of the water burp itself, you know, so the cooling system could fill. Always remember, water is not a permanent fix. You know, let's say your car is overheating and you're on the side of the road. Yes, water will get you to your destination, you know, but you would need to go ahead and make sure you take care of that and put the proper antifreeze or coolant in there, whatever you want to call it. So now, radiator is full. So let's put the cap back on and let it start and run for 10 minutes. Now the thing with water is that the boiling point is a lot lower than coolant. So therefore, if you do put water in there, you will eventually start overheating. But let's give her a startup. Oh, so I don't think y'all can see, but looking from this side, the coolant is starting to burp itself. What we want to do, we want to just make sure it's going to hold pressure. So let me go ahead and time lapse this. So I don't think y'all can see, but looking from this side, the coolant is starting to burp itself. What we want to do, we want to just make sure it's going to hold pressure. So let me go ahead and time lapse this. Yeah. I get the bag today. 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 Alright, so we've been running for 5 minutes. Temperature's looking great. Just trying to keep an eye on it because he did say it was overheating. So now what I'm about to wait for is to see if the cooling fan kicks on. I don't know if y'all can see that, getting a tiny bit of smoke. I think it's oil that's burning, that because you see the valve cover, all under there is wet with oil. That's all I believe that is. So, just in case y'all try to say I'm messing something up, I'm not. So now it's been 7 minutes, right? So if the cooling fan doesn't kick on by the time we get to halfway, it's going to be time for further diagnosis. Now, if you notice your cooling fans are not kicking on, it's either because you have low coolant or the big one, which is a coolant temperature sensor. Now, I know it's reading the temperature, but if it's not functioning correctly, it won't send the signal for the cooling fan to kick on. So now what I'm going to do, I'm back in my car. I'm going to grab my OBD2 reader. I'm going to plug it into this car. I'm going to run a test and see. Because that fan should have kicked on by now. It's not terrible, but The fan should have kicked on by now. So let's run a test. All right, y'all. Sorry for the beeping, but we're back in the Chevy. OBD2 reader plugged in. Key is in the on position without the car running. Let's see what we get. temperature. This hose is cool. This hose is cool. So, not that one, this one. This one has some pressure. This one has no pressure. So, looks like the thermostat is bad. And the thermostat would be right there. That piece right against the block, that's where the thermostat would sit. So the thermostat, it stays closed until the engine reaches a certain operating temperature. And then it opens up, to regulate the temperature of the coolant. So let me talk to my boy. Let me see what he want to do. So it's a little while later. I'm back. Where I went to AutoZone to get the thermostat and also the coolant temperature sensor. Blah. But it just dawned on me that I didn't try to see manually if I could get the fan to cut on, which is by turning the heat on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try that now. So I got the car in the on position. Now see, nothing. So now let's try to turn the AC on. Drop my damn phone. So you see that? Nothing. So as you see, I got the AC is on, the fan is on, everything is blowing warm. So the fan is running. It sounds very raggedy though. So we at over 180 degrees. The car is almost warm, and that fan should have kicked on by now. So I was able to get the fan to manually cut on. Now don't try this at home. So the fan, it's a little bit janky, but let's finish diagnosing. So I still got inconclusive results. That hose is hot. That hose is cold. So we're gonna let this cool down. Then we're gonna go after this thermostat. I'll keep you posted. So again, that silver piece back there, that's the thermostat housing. And if you come around to this side, I bet you we're not gonna be able to see. That plug right there, that plug right, focus, that plug right there, I'm gonna disconnect it and I'm gonna see if that's skewing anything. So, full of oil. So that could cause a problem in itself. But I'm gonna keep doing some further digging. I'll keep you posted. I don't know if y'all can see that, but the fan is working because what I did, I unplugged that plug on the thermostat. I wiped the oil off. I plugged it back in. I went in the car, started it, and then I turned the AC on. The fan kicked on. Then I cut the AC back off. And everything is still running. As y'all see, the AC is off. The fan is running. What is going on? I don't know. Maybe something was just caked with oil, like where that sensor plug was at. The question is, let's stop the car and try it again. and now nothing. This is so weird. Now I know this is taking a long time. I just want to be 100% sure before actually throwing parts at the car, you know? And hopefully I could save my buddy a few bucks. Now I just want to see if it'll kick on by itself. Such a weird problem. Wondering if the relay's bad. Let's check the scan tool. $194. That's kind of wild. I guess we'll give it to about 200 degrees. That hose is hot. That hose is cool. Funny thing is, it's not overheating, and there's just water in there. Oh, this is so weird. 201. 203. Alright, so we letting the car run. Now supposedly the thermostat is supposed to open and the fan is supposed to kick on at around 220 degrees, 221 or something. Right now we at 213. So apparently this is an emissions type of situation to where the vehicle is supposed to run hot. So we're at 213.8 according to the scan tool, and the needle is just below halfway. So we're gonna let it keep rocking. 217. To 19. Almost there, Chevy. So it says 220 to 225, the thermostat should begin to open. It, um, and then the fan should kick on at 223. So we at 221. So what I'm thinking, we just gotta let it rock. 222.8. I'm praying that this is not, the case to where thermostat and everything needs to be changed. We're gonna use some of that coolant. I got 2 gallons back there. I could go ahead and return that, give my buddy some of his money back. I could return that thermostat and that coolant temp sensor, which actually was about $107 with the sealing and stuff, of course, but still at 224. Oh man. Okay, we touched 226. So apparently I should start worrying at around 230. Never mind, the fan is on. It's on low speed. so. We are good. So now the next bet. So in conclusion, let me check this other hose. I see no problems there. Let me go ahead. I'll drain the rest of the fluid out drain the radiator water that's in there. And then I fill it with coolant. And that cooling system is A-okay. Thank y'all for watching. As y'all see, the AC is off. The fan is running. What is going on? I don't know. Maybe something was just caked with oil, like where that sensor plug was at. The question is, let's stop the car and try it again. And now nothing. This is so weird. Now, I know this is taking a long time. I just want to be 100% sure before actually throwing parts at the car, you know? And hopefully I could save my buddy a few bucks. Back underneath, since everything tested out fine, I'm gonna go ahead and drain the water out of the cooling system. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fill the cooling system back up, but with the Dex Cool antifreeze coolant like it's supposed to take. Sorry about the camera angle. That is so weird as this does that. I forgot to take the cap off the reservoir. Let's see if that's hot. Yeah, that's warm. Never want to open that while it's hot. Ever, ever. Fully took the petcock out so you'll get some more flow going. And as you can see, or as you can't see, that's the coolant tank back there. It's slowly bubbling out. Don't ask me why I'm still sitting here holding this phone like this. I'm gonna cut till when it's done. Alright, so I'm out here working still.
Put a lot of my personal bickering beefs.
Look at my peoples right there.
As a matter of fact,
Gonna always support. But let's get this, as you can see, down to a trickle. Let's get this piece back in there so we could go ahead and fill the cooling system with coolant. Alright. So we're gonna get that back in. That petcock, get it back into its housing. Up there, screw it back in. Sorry about the camera. This is such a weird angle. Alright, that's tight. Boom. Done. That's what we got. Double check. Now, it's warm, but there's nothing in there to spew out because cooling system does work under pressure. But again, it's empty. It's not too bad. So we got a jug of Dex Cool. Now let's see how much of this I spill. I gotta reposition y'all. I apologize. Pour those there. Double check, make sure nothing is leaking. Good, nothing's leaking underneath. While the cooling system gargles. Pause. So now a lot of systems you need a pressure it and vacuum bleed the cooling system. I don't have all of that, and plus I'm doing this mobile. So we're gonna run the car, let it get up to temperature while we leave the cap off. This way, if there's any air bubbles or air pockets, they're called. They'll make their way up to the highest point, which is the reservoir, and it'll burp itself out. So let's go ahead and time lapse this. I'm in the city, got hotel lake on fire me, I'm supposed to cook inside me, they put the bank to the side of it. We got the phones, we line on. Too many bitches don't know the trust. All black hoodie, you know it's us. Push star, you can't fuck with us. So now, we didn't even use a whole gallon of coolant. And that's because we have to wait for the thermostat to open to reach the full capacity of the system. Now once everything gets warm, the trick people do is to turn the heat on. So I'm gonna let it get a little bit more temperature into the engine. I'm going to run the heat on full blast, and that should help expedite the process. So let's go ahead and cut the heat on now. And by cutting the heat on, that's actually gonna allow the coolant into the cabin of the car. I don't know why. I was about to say cockpit because I'll be working on planes, but it's gonna help circulate everything. That little clicking you hear, that's the injectors. So that's how motors sound with direct fuel injection. Okay, the temperature is getting there. The heat is still lukewarm. So we just want to watch the temperature and watch the coolant level. Bubbles. That's what we want. Let's go back, double check that temperature. The heat is still, it's not hot, but back underneath. So we got no leaks, which is good. That hose is hot. That hose is warm, which is okay because that second hose is coming from the radiator, which is the cooled antifreeze. Heater's warming up.
Yeah.
So all the bubbling stopped. So I believe all the air is out. Time to cut the what I'm going to do, I'm good with that. So let's cut the car off, and then we can put the radiator cap back on. See? So now that the motor's warm, if you can see on the side right here, that top line, there's an arrow there. So that's your hot line. When your engine is hot, you want the coolant to be at that level. So now that everything has stopped, we'll go ahead and add some more coolant here. A little bit short. A little bit more. Let's do it again. Cap is on. See that the fan is running? Cooling level there. Temperature good. And it's hot as fuck in this damn car with this heat on. I call that a job well done. And at the end of the day, save my boy some money on one of those jugs of coolant, and then that $107 from AutoZone. Hey, a win is a win to me. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate you spending your time with me. If you made it this far, drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Everybody take care.